Welcome to Lobecast. Today we are going to be running through our week's matchups. We got 3 weeks left. Fellas, I don't mean to be grim, but 3 weeks left. That's all you got from now and into the playoffs. When you get to the playoffs, enjoy the next 2 weeks. And then for the rest of the year, we expect you to be pretty active in the Discord so we can make some positive changes in the league to improve. Matchup number 1, of course, is Save the Dolphins against your boy Corndog. Ryan, I have you here with me.
Yeah. First, I'd like to say this episode is brought to you by your dad's recliner. It's just for him. You know not to sit there. And if you did sit there, it's an instant, hey, what are you doing in my chair? Remember, your dad owns that recliner.
But it's always got the perfect curvature. It's warm.
Oh, it's so comfy. You're like, oh, yes, feels like a nice hammock, but you know you're not supposed to be there. As soon as you feel that nice comfortableness, you're like, I shouldn't be in this. I'm going to get yelled at. And you will get yelled at. If you would like your dad's recliner or a recliner of your own, check the links below.
Yes, getting right along here. We have the matchup, Corndog and myself, Save the Fish, which they need saved. I agree. But this year may be the year, and I pray to the great fantasy gods that we can have a Tua, Waddle, connection for the next decade that smashes the Manning and Harrison connections records.
Oh, man.
And,
that's
it'll be beautiful.
It's a very tall order. Big request.
I do believe it to be true. I haven't changed the name yet because we haven't actually won anything.
Yeah. Don't want to jump the gun too soon.
Don't want to jump the gun, yeah. You never know.
You need to make
especially
the playoffs.
With how fragile Tua has been.
Yeah, right? Speaking of fragile and the Dolphins in general, you guys, and in your matchup against Corey here, you guys have a very hard week. Going to San Francisco. That's traveling west, switching up your time zones. You got, that plays a little bit of a role. You're playing a team that might be the scariest team in the NFL right now. When you just think about San Francisco's offense, who do you game plan for? If you're the defensive coordinator for Miami, tell me which order of players you game plan for.
Well,
you worried about the most?
I think you take out Waddle first, right?
No. It's Miami's defensive coordinator against San Francisco.
Oh, okay. So
you're playing defense against San Francisco. Who's the first person you're like, I got to make sure that person does not beat us?
Man, I don't know here. If I'm Dolphins D coordinator right now, I'm thinking let's put our best guy X on Debo at all times.
Debo? Okay, yeah. So Debo can't beat us.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna be Kyle Shanahan. I'm like, okay, they're doubling Debo. Debo's got nothing. Okay, I'm gonna hand the ball off to CMC.
No. I don't think
CMC now.
I don't think we double him. I think we just put X on him, and then
all right. So
leave him on the island.
Locked down by one corner.
He might get beat.
On an island. What do we do about CMC?
We're worried about CMC here. That's why we just put X, our best guy, on Debo, and then we put like 7 in the box, and we force them to throw with Garoppolo. And when Garoppolo starts throwing, and he looks like donkey shit, they're gonna still try to be running. And I'm bet you, our run defense is best in the league. Best.
Okay. I mean, how's your linebackers in coverage against George Kittle though?
Kittle is going to have the best day of your life. Go ahead in our link below. Click the DraftKings Association links, and you'll be able to get into the Kittle run-in, which will be happening under the Finns and Niners game. I guarantee you,
Let's
you
stop
want to take the
Brandon
over
Ayuk into
on
the
his
Bucks.
yards. Kittle is going to trash the Dolphins.
This is kind of what I wanted to walk through of like how ridiculous San Francisco's offense really is. You got
We
Debo
have
who
no
can be a
way to stop
receiver
Kittle.
or a running back. You got CMC who can be a slot receiver or a fucking tailback. You got Brandon Ayuk, who's no joke. He's a big dude on that outside. Can make some big catches. And you got to worry about George Kittle flying down the middle like a little tank.
I
Actually, a
love
really
that.
big tank.
George Kittle flying down the middle. Now, that is totally the case, too, with that offense. You're right. Ayuk could come out of nowhere and really wreak
Nowhere. Two
havoc.
touchdowns,
So,
100 yards. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I
That's why I think San Francisco is probably, in my opinion, of all the teams in football, definitely in the NFC, but maybe of all the teams in football, is the scariest because that offense is ridiculous,
if
and
I'm
then
Tom,
that defense is ridiculous as well. They have the best linebacker core in football right now, and one of the best pass rushers in Nick Bosa.
if I'm Tom Brady, I'm not looking at the Bucks for next year. I'm looking at the Niners.
He's always wanted to play for the Niners, anyways. I think he's a San Francisco boy. Used to watch him growing up. That'd be pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah, so this matchup for me, I feel like it's going to come down to the quarterback play, the running backs, and the wide receivers. Our defenses are pretty good. Mine might be edged out a little bit better, but I think we have such high hitting points up here that it could just get ran away from with somebody. And I think his is more likely than mine with Dalvin Cook over Pierce. Pierce has been running really bad. He's ran against the Dolphins, which we all know, I was just saying, best defense against the run in the league. I would put that up against anybody. I really believe that. When we're all healthy, I don't think anyone can run on the Dolphins. We'll see. Anyway,
Yeah, we'll see if CMC can.
so Pierce had a rough few weeks. I don't know if I'm even able to play him this week. I'm considering benching him.
I wouldn't be doing that this week. I think he'll be one of your players that if he does go off, he
run
can go
defense
off.
is donkey nuts or what?
Oh, I do think it's donkey nuts. I just don't think you have a better option.
Oh yeah, I got
I hate
the
to tell you.
options. I
I don't
got
know
the
what else you would
options, man.
do
I got
here.
options. My team is stacked and loaded.
And
I got
you have a
Mostert.
conflict too. A little bit of a conflict. You're gonna have
Oh,
your
Mitchell's hurt for the rest of the year.
Mitchell, by the way. But your defense, your Nick Bosa is sacking your quarterback. Every time Nick Bosa gets a sack, which is worth what?
Yeah, it's a
2
-1 for the
points.
quarterback and 2 points towards the Bosa, the sack
Get a
artist.
point.
Uh,
Your neck point plus the yardage.
I do agree. There is a little bit of give and take there going on within my own team. But if there was anyone I wanted to pick up to play defense against the Dolphins, who have absolutely the god-awful worst right tackle when he starts. I can't remember his freaking name, but our backup has been better. Our backup has been better, and we might as well just keep playing that dude. We've been playing well.
Might break some news on you here. Did you know that your left tackle is out this coming week?
Yes, it's gonna be a rough time for Tua, and
Play against
I'm gonna be singing
backup
Tua,
game.
can't you see? There's a defensive end coming at you. Duck, duck down right now. But he likes to extend the play, so he'll run around or literally, like, as he's getting tackled, try to stay up, causing himself to get thrown harder. I hope he's safe this game. This last game had me nervous as fuck because he got mollywopped a few times. and
Yeah.
oof,
Please don't
that's
hurt
just
him.
tough to
Please don't
see.
hurt him
It's tough to watch.
when you really care. Oh, you really think Tua against probably the best team in football, in my opinion, is gonna score more points than Jalen Hurts against a terrible pass offense or defense
So
in
I'm
Tennessee?
torn. I'm torn this week. I'm
So
real
that means
torn.
Jalen
Look, my team name
Hurts.
is Save the Dolphins. I believe my savior is Tua. All right, but he's going against the toughest defensive unit in the league. I
Oh,
don't know if it's against quarterbacks, but we're about to check.
in their house.
He's going against San Francisco. They give up the sixth fewest fantasy points in the league. Now, I could go and play Dak Prescott, who is playing a god awful Colts team,
Oh, yeah, you might want to do that.
and I thought about it. I have pride though. I got pride in my Dolphins, but I'm not blind. All right.
With the shit, going down with the fish. Jalen Hurts is playing at home against a terrible pass defense in Tennessee. So I'm going to give that win to Jalen Hurts. Zeke versus Leonard Fournette. Fournette might not even play. So you get like a free points there. We'll see. Even if Leonard Fournette does play, he's coming off an injury. And his backup was super good. So maybe he doesn't even get that many snaps. Damian Pierce versus Cook. Cook's going to annihilate Pierce.
I might have to do something. No, I think I have to play Pierce.
Godwin versus
You gotta
Edmonds.
play your best, right? Each week.
Yeah, you
Play
got to
your
play your
best.
best. But Godwin versus Evans. Godwin's got more targets, but Evans had a down week, and he could come back and score 3 touchdowns on your ass.
I could
Waddle
see that.
and Lockett. Waddle and Lockett are pretty like close.
Pretty similar, right?
50 because both of them can score touchdowns and big yardage. Both of them can disappear. He's got you beat on Kittle versus Gesicki. And both of you guys' flex are very questionable. Because Gibson was losing work last week to Brian Robinson.
Oh my god. But
So I
I
feel
gotta
like
change
he's
this
gonna
defense,
win
right?
by he's gonna win. He's gonna win by just enough. But this is make or break for both of you. You're both 6-6. If either of you, whoever loses this, is out of the playoffs.
Oh, guarantee it.
So you're in a must-win situation.
I'm in a very must-win situation. I gotta make some plays into the free agency. I was hoping Mitchell was gonna be safe, but he ain't.
$14 to get the backup, the new backup now that Mitchell's out, to protect his CMC stock.
Yeah,
I
that's
saw it and I
that's
was
how
like,
much you spent on him.
spend it. Jason did.
Oh, Jason did.
Yeah, he has CMC, and he saw that you got his backup, I think, and he was like, crap. And then Mitchell gets hurt, so he went and bid $14, which was by far the most. I didn't even I put a $0 bid to try to just get him, just in case. But he snagged him, so now he owns San Francisco's running back backfield for the rest of the year. All Jasons. Speaking of Jason, might as well transition to his matchup.
Yes, Doug is playing Ben. The team of sevens here. 7 wins.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
one is putting their foot directly into the lineup of playoff teams. The other one, who loses, is getting cast aside into the depths of losers. We'll see.
But not outs. They both can afford to lose one game,
Maybe.
but
one
whoever
more.
wins it is like
They might be able to afford
at
one,
the
one
front
more.
door. They just need to walk in. The door's open. They just need to walk into the playoffs. They need one more.
They're putting a big firm foot in that door when they win, though. If they win, this is a big one.
Whoever wins this, yes, very, very stout. They could even become number one because Jason and myself could lose this week, and then these records would tie. And if I have an abysmal week, they could jump me in points.
What is up with Ben and the Jets? Benny and the
Ben,
Jets.
Ben Jets. That's what's up. He should change his name. Oh, Benny and the Jets.
Ben, that is clearly your name. I'm now referring to first of his name as Benny and the Jets. It's a beautiful,
Benny and the
beautiful name.
Jets. I really like it.
Yeah, he loves to play these Jets quarterbacks. What is going on here?
He has very little options at quarterback this year. It's Derek Carr or the new hotness, the new
Tom Brady was out there in
white.
the free agency.
Or he could have went with Tom Brady. He didn't. He went with Mike White. Had 32 fantasy points last week, 15 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, taking a shot. It's a bomber of a shot. He's gonna try. Besides, he's got Barkley and Jacobs. He's got Debo. He can take the shot. He's got a good core.
Man,
Even Zay Jones has been on fire lately. Actually, kind of all year.
he really has a solid team. Kelsey, I don't know how any of us are going to beat Kelsey this year. Doug might have a shoe-in to the playoffs with Kelsey right there.
That is the best cheat code. We talked about that, I think, just last week. How it's remarkable the gap he has over all the other tight ends. Nearly 100-point gap.
Oh, it's an insane gap, and it's league changer, league winner, trophy getter.
It's tough. I think the year he won one of his championships, I think along with those defensive linemen, if I remember right, he also had Gronk that year. And it was like, oh.
Yeah, he took over the other positions.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we were like eating ourselves alive, basically drafting running backs and receivers, and he was just like, "I'll take the best tight end and the best 2 defensive linemen, and just annihilate you guys."
Yeah, so this is an interesting lineup or matchup we got here. I do believe Doug comes out with this one.
I'm gonna put my chips.
The only thing I think that can stop Doug right now is the Chiefs and Kelsey and what goes on there. Doug's team is solid. Running backs are solid. The wide receivers are solid.
Got great matchups this week against Vegas, against the Rams, against my Colts, Cincinnati, against the Chargers. Like, all these are good matchups.
Yeah, and he did a OG move, putting the best wide receiver for the opponent's quarterback in his lineup that really limits Mr. White's points into what he can do to the rest of the team. And we know that
Doug's actually been starting Garrett Wilson, so this might be more of a fumble, if you will, on Ben's part for picking up White and like, I'm gonna play him because he did great. Like, well, your opponent has has his receivers, so capped yourself there a bit.
And if you're looking at the screen right now, you can clearly see this guy. If the Jets are going to be scoring over the air, probably going to this guy.
Yeah, he's
very good.
Garrett Wilson,
2 touchdowns last game. He had another good touchdown game in the earlier year. They don't really score touchdowns though throwing the ball. We don't know what this quarterback's gonna look like though, right?
I mean, we had some. He had like a 3 or 4 game stretch, I think, just last year. Whenever Wilson got hurt, where he was pretty good, but then he showed his, he got picked off a bunch. I think it might have been Belichick that did him in, and then he got sat, and then now he's back this year and he's on fire. So maybe it was just a Belichick thing.
I forgot
he
played last week against the Bears, and poor Kirk's team got lit up.
Lit up, son.
So I was saying the AFC East is the best division in football, and it's looking like it.
How about
The
that? But
NFC
definitely
East is right there and scary though.
that was where I was gonna go. Like that's probably got the most talent in it over there. But in this
We should do
matchup,
a
I
video
think,
on
like you
that.
said,
Those are some scary teams this year.
definitely some scary teams.
It'd
That'd
be
be worth a
nutty.
pod.
All eight of those teams from each division, each all four of each from each division of those are gonna make it to the playoffs. So we're
No
gonna
way.
have 8 teams represented in 2 divisions in the playoffs this year.
Disagree on that, but definitely some teams like all those teams are worth being in the playoffs. I just don't think it'll actually shake out that way. So we both think Ben's gonna or Doug's gonna beat Ben in this.
I do agree with that. Do we move on?
Uh, I believe so. What else
Uh,
we got here?
Derek and
Derek.
Tom, another playoff matchup. Um, Ice Up Sun, clearly a name we all know and love. If you were a 90s baby and you watched football growing up, um, the best football wide receiver of our time. A guy who was only 5'9", said he was 5'10", and all those things. He was probably 5'8". Anyway, he dominated the wide receiver position, and that was a phrase he always used, "Ice up, son." And
Ice up.
yeah, Steve Smith, my favorite wide receiver, probably growing up. I loved him because he'd get up there really high in the air, catch the ball, and it didn't matter how tall you were at cornerback or whatever. It was about the dog
His
in you.
move
And
was
that guy's
gonna
got the
be
biggest dog of anyone I could imagine.
exactly. I think like you want to talk about a dude that would contest the catch. Like, oh, he's a dog when it comes to getting that ball. Size did not matter.
That was
But
great.
most of the time, he didn't have to do that. I mean, he could do that, but he didn't have to. He was so freaking fast and so crisp on his routes that he was just blatantly wide open. Like, here, hit me. I got 5 yards on this guy.
But he always had a terrible offensive line, and his quarterbacks were always having to scramble to get him the ball.
And his
If he
quarterback
had
was so. And
the best quarterback thrown to him, it would have been insane. The dude's career
it would
would
have
have
been
been
so much.
absolutely
I can't
insane.
even name, like, what, Jake Delhomme? Is that the last like,
Delhomme,
really
I think they had that
home or
one
whatever?
guy that I can't
Or
fucking
actual
remember.
passing, good passers.
He didn't
Cam
really have
Newton
any
had,
good
like,
passers.
an
I
okay
feel like.
year. I don't think he did either. So, like you're saying, if he'd even had a decent one, he could have been
But yeah,
sky's the limit.
Derek, great
Eric,
name. He hasn't
great,
changed it.
great.
He's going against Tom.
It's make or break for Tom at 6-6.
Yes. We got a 7-5 going against a 6-6. If this happens, was both of them ended up with sevens here. Tom, you have a chance to really put
Mm-hmm.
your foot into the "I'm in the running" sayings and win out the rest of the year. You got yourself in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Same on the other side. Got to get all wins basically and going forward. T Hill, obviously the most boom or bust player with the highest floor in probably all of football. The worst week could be 4 points. Best week could be 30 points, maybe higher. 42
Right.
points.
Maybe 58. A billion. I mean, all the points.
He
He
went for
just wins your
190
week.
yards against Baltimore earlier in the season, 2 touchdowns. Um, I don't know what to do
He could
about
have
this
three
guy.
touchdowns in the game. None of us would be surprised.
I don't know how anyone stops this guy. The way Tua's been playing is lights out. The only way this could get worse is maybe Tua get hurt again, or we got the 2 tackles that suck. Now, this could
Mm-hmm.
be this could be a pretty bad game. I feel like for the Finns, but I got hope. I got a lot of hope. This is the year. The Tua magic is real. It's similar to the Brady magic, I feel like. When Tua's in there, everybody just believes. They're like, oh, yeah, we got this.
I can feel you believe him for sure. I also believe that Justin Jefferson, his other wide receiver, is just as good as Tyreek Hill and just dangerous.
Dude, what is going on? Did Derek even draft his team? He got to the draft late. Derek, let me
He did.
just run this down for everybody. Derek didn't even pick his first 3 picks, probably. All right?
I think so. You're right.
He was late to the draft, first of all. When he got to the draft, he would have been able to do his first pick. What happened? Couldn't connect to the internet or something because, our internet's pretty slow over at Tom's. And or you don't get good cell service, and he couldn't get on until what, pick 3 or 4.
I think it was pick 4, and he went Kamara first. Justin Jefferson was his second auto pick, and then Tyreek Hill was his third auto pick.
Yeah.
Which Kamara's not been the best, but the other two have been just solid. So that's why his
Man.
team's so good.
Boy, did
Is
he
his
make
receiver.
out though this year on a team. This has been one hell of a team. And
Oh yeah, he's
to
built
think
this
that this
pretty well.
team could not make it to the playoffs is insane to me.
Yeah. Well, Garoppolo. So let's break this matchup down. We got Garoppolo for Derek versus Geno Smith for Tom. Wash.
That's a wash.
Geno. Now Geno's playing the Rams, and the Rams don't have Aaron Donald anymore.
I think
He's out for
Garoppolo
like
has to play this week. Garoppolo has to play. I don't think they run the ball against Miami.
okay
Not happening.
enough for Garoppolo. Okay, I think it's a wash. Kamara versus JT for Tom. Tom. Tampa Bay's
JT
really
maybe?
probably
Just because Tampa
JT.
Bay's defense is insane.
And JT's got to be what we do. So I guess JT by a little bit. Jeff Wilson versus Rashad White. Jeff Wilson's probably gonna get all the work. If Mostert's not there, he definitely get all the work. So, and Rashad White, if Leonard Fournette's back, won't get all the work. So probably Jeff Wilson. Tyreek Hill's the winner over T Higgins for Tom. Justin Jefferson's probably is definitely gonna be Pickens for Tom. So yeah, this is looking like Derek. I think Tom's gonna be pushed out here.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say, Tom.
think
Derek's team is stacked as hell. And we could end it
Derek's-
there on his team even because it looks like both of these guys don't play too much defense guys that are going to change anything.
Maybe Mason Crosby, because he
Mhm.
is like the best defensive lineman right now. He's way up there if he's not the best. In fantasy, that is.
So let's go ahead and give that win to Derek. And next up is Lamar versus Copperfields. And Jimmy and Ryan are. Nah.
For one,
Ryan's already in the
two.
playoffs, and I'm kind of hoping he wins out. Jimmy, if you win this one, you are putting Ryan in a serious situation, and I would applaud it. I'd stand up, and I'd probably even, probably send you a few gifts. It'd be great.
Great.
It'd be great. But
It
yeah.
would sting a lot. This is, I mean, we got a pretty heavy matchup here. We got the top scorer in the league, and Jimmy's the second highest scorer in the league. So this should be some fireworks.
Oh, this is gonna be a hell of a matchup. I think this would be matchup of the week. Clearly, it's points versus points, and in our league, sometimes points don't get you anywhere. As you can see, Jimmy is a second in points, and he has 5 wins. Ask me how? I'd say I don't know how, but
Got bad voodoo.
bad,
bad
juju. He did not have Juju, Shmish Shmoo Shmoo. I have him now, and it's causing me train wreck. For any of you who are wondering why is Ryan's team 8 wins, it's probably due to this guy who's Flash Jackson. Unbelievable.
Actually, don't think that's the case. From owning him this season, definitely the first 4 games or so, I was like, I have the best cheat code available. No one's ever going to beat me. And then he turned into this I should have never played him quarterback for weeks. I think past week he got 24 points, but he only had 6 or 7 points going into the third quarter. I think in the fourth quarter he ran a touchdown in and threw a touchdown in, so it wasn't until the fourth quarter when he had to do it and it got done that he actually scored those 24 points. So
That's a
it was
dog
terrible.
fight, dude. Yeah, it's hard to watch
Long.
some of that. He's been playing like pretty shitty on some of these weeks.
Which is why this week on the waiver wire I went and picked up Tom Brady because I am seriously considering. He also Jackson also popped up on the questionable on the injury report this week, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go get Tom
Oof.
Brady, and I will sit with this contemplation: do I want to play Tom Brady or not? Tom Brady, I know will give me some points, won't leave me out dry. The offense is getting better. I think it's a pretty good matchup too. Yeah, it's against New Orleans.
Okay, so here's my thing.
Decent match
I
on Monday
think you
night.
have to play Tom Brady, which is insane to say. Uh, but oh
Until
my
Sunday.
god, dude, you are asking for it. It
I
just
know.
like
The second right, the second I bench Lamar, he's gonna do some 50s shit, and I'm gonna be like, no, and then I'll play him the next week, and I'll go back to doo doo. I'll
oh,
be
it's
like, I
gonna be
lost.
doo doo. I can smell it already. It's thick and it's all over the air.
No,
I
so
just
this
looked
is
back at
why
my
I'm
dog to make sure he didn't release anything, and it doesn't seem so. Uh,
nervous. I don't know what to do. I'm going against Josh Allen, which doesn't help. He's playing the Patriots though, so that's cool. Hopefully, Jimmy's Josh Allen doesn't annihilate the Patriots. But even if he does, I do have his cap. I have Stephon Diggs. I have Devin Singletary. If Allen's moving the ball a lot and they run it in, I score.
my guy,
Um,
you are
I,
missing out here. The guy
if
who
I
really matters mostly to you is the cheat code for the running back position. Austin
hey Willie,
Eckler.
oh man,
Mr.
that's
I catch all the passes and run all the touchdowns.
a mean person. I am a little scared of him, but I'm not scared of Patterson. So I feel like his weakness of
Ooh.
Patterson
Yeah,
with
but
Eckler
you should be
makes it
scared of
pedestrian.
Patterson's offensive line. That O line has been a running O line all year. I think they lead the league in rushing. At
But
one
they
point, they
don't give
did at least.
Patterson all the work, especially because he got hurt. So I'm hoping, as long as Patterson doesn't score a touchdown, I'm fine. If he scores a touchdown, that's gonna hurt.
My guy, he's playing Pittsburgh, one of the worst defenses in the league.
Worst pass defenses in the league.
Oh,
They
I didn't know
didn't
that.
have JJ. Not like that bad at the run defense. They're actually pretty good.
So
You just give up the most more than 20-yard plays in the league to your big
I
plays.
I hate to break it to you, but when the Buffalo play the New England, they like to score the points. Let's go ahead and take a look
I
at
have
that,
Diggs and
Josh
Singletary
Allen.
though.
Let's go ahead and take a look at this real quick. Let's go see, when did they play prior? Did they play the New England Patriots? Oh no. Oh wait, yeah they did. They had to play them twice a year, right?
Yeah, but it could be. Oh, it's.
Yo, what is
Oh,
going
they
on
play
here?
them. They play them week 18. Fantasy season doesn't go to 18 for us.
Oh, that's right.
Play them this
You
week
know,
and then week
we
8.
should extend the season.
That. Excuse my
Let's go
language.
ahead and put week 18 as the
If
the
you just did it for
championship week.
fun. Oh, because this is what happens in week 18. The top of the top. So like Jalen Hurts, if the Eagles went out to week 18, there's no sense of him playing because they already have the number one seed. So he sits week 18. So you had a player that literally took you to the championship, and then you did nothing wrong. They didn't get hurt. They're just not playing all of a sudden, and you have to
See,
go get
ladies
some
and
waiver
gentlemen,
wire
this
in the
is why you
championship.
don't play the last week of.
That's exactly why you don't do it.
That's why.
It
And
would
that's why
feel
we don't
so
do it.
terrible. I'm Pat Mahomes. I'm running the league. You guys can't beat me. Oh my God! In the championship, he's sitting on the bench because he was too good.
Remember, it would happen with Manning every year.
Yeah, it would feel so bad that your champion, you're probably who should have been the champion, is probably going to get screwed over.
I feel like I feel it just makes sense though, and man, I would like to play that extra week. It and like
If there was
force
a way,
people to make the
like,
fantasy move and be prepared in their bench and all that shit. I like that idea too. It's pretty fucking brutal.
what if we open it up to the Discord this year? Hey, let's all jump in a weekly fantasy something on a platform. That way, we just play that week. We like go
Oh,
draft teams,
weekly
like
fantasy would
draft.
be cool with
Like,
the
let's do a
league.
weekly fantasy. All 12 of us. Let's throw in some money just for week 18. That would be
Let's
cool.
do that. You know what? I'll spend a little bit of time this week, and I think we should do it this week.
I don't know anything about the weekly stuff, like what platforms is used and stuff that would facilitate what I'm talking about.
I
But I
think
thought
in
it'd be fun.
DraftKings, what I could do is set up a private, uh, like best team thing, and it'd be just us, and I can set up the amount of money it costs to get in,
Gotcha.
and it would be $1 for everybody, and then the winner would win like. If there was 10 of us, they would probably win like $8, and then DraftKings probably gonna keep 10 or 20%.
Sure. Get that
But like,
commission.
it'd be cool just to do it.
Yeah. I'd be totally down for that. But
Yeah,
yeah.
I think I've done it before. I set it up and I was like, oh, this would be cool. I'll have to think about using this or doing it, and that's probably why they have it.
Probably for situations like that with your buddies.
Anyway,
So this matchup, we keep going down this list of players. His receivers versus my receivers. I feel like if Chase plays, I got that locked down. But St. Brown's scary, and Yukon could be scary. If Miami, locks down all the other weapons and just leaves him wide open.
if I was you, I'd be nervous about this guy right here. He could take over the game and be all your passing
He's
yards.
also the cap to my quarterback. So I have his best receiver and his quarterback, and he's got my quarterback's best
Oof.
receiver.
Time to play
So this is a
the
crazy matchup.
Brady.
Like perfectly matched up for each other to not. It's almost like we can't really boom against each other because if one goes off, it just hurts the other person.
Yep.
Unless you get some special like, oh, we're not going to use the number one weapons and your
Let's see who's
quarterbacks go
gonna
off.
score big time
Uh,
here. This guy's hoarded this Miami defense all year long. It's been terrible. Oh, they've been playing well. What do you know? Drop them.
Drop him, he says.
Drop
Drop,
them.
drop,
So
drop
I
that
play him.
defense.
I'm playing all Miami, the
So
whole Miami
I
squad
definitely
this year.
I think where I have my best shot, I think on offense, yeah, he probably takes me by 10, 15 points with his offensive core compared to mine. Especially if Chase doesn't play. If Chase doesn't play, and big doo doo. But where I think I can make it up is from a defensive team and the Bucks playing a terrible New Orleans team. Whereas the Bills are playing New England, and we'll see. But Bill Belichick could make that a hellhole for the Bills. Never know. It's on Thursday night. I think my Bucks can beat his Bills, and then all of my IDPs I like more than his.
Yeah, TJ Watt is a solid player.
Fucking uh, Derwin James, number one DB.
Miles
Roquan
Garrett,
Smith, number
dominant.
fucking like 5. Miles Garrett gets a sack every other game. And look at their matchups. You got Miles Garrett against Houston, terrible offensive line.
It's a
You got
beautiful thing.
Roquan against Denver, who just wants to run the ball. Should get a lot of tackles. Derwin James, playing against the Raiders, who like to throw the ball and throw picks. TJ Watt is going against Atlanta, who they're
You
probably
got
going
the
to run the
best
ball a
defense
lot,
in
so
the
it's not
league.
the best upside for TJ Watt.
You easily
But,
got the best defense in the league. That should be able to propel you into the win category on this one. I'm gonna say, uh,
woo, let's do
but
it.
it all
Let's chop.
depends
Let's stick a
on
fork in Jimmy
Mr.
this week.
Eckler and Patterson. I do believe it lies between those two, um, and Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar Jackson always is the defining factor in every game they play.
Jimmy, I'm about to stick a fork in you. This is the end of your season right here.
And you're going to
Over.
Brady. Wow.
Like,
Who knows? I think Jimmy gets the win here. Now that I actually think about it, Jimmy gets the win. Good job, Jimmy.
it's, it's
Uh,
gonna be a good game. Is what's gonna be.
it's gonna be a dog fight. All right, Kirk and Bone Again Christian, Jason and Kirk. All right, now Kirk is on a venge streak, and he is
Yeah, he's
means it.
out, but he
He's
is
not
like
having
that's
this shit no more. He said, "You guys keep trying to squash me. I ain't having it. I ain't
I
picking
ain't
first
eating
overall."
bottom. I am not rolling over.
Exactly. And in the
I am
shit
here.
bowl last week, he beat Leroy,
That's right. He
and
smacked
Leroy put up
Leroy.
some good points. What we
For
have
sure.
here is a classic, great matchup: shitter versus league winner, and the shitter could easily win this. Kirk, you may be defined shitter here in this situation, but
You got a
you
mean
got
team.
Patty Mahomes and King Henry in the same team. This is scary.
Scary. Oh, so scary.
Oh, I'd be terrified if I was boned again, Christian.
What would be too? I'd be like, oh no, those two could just mollywop me.
Oh, fucking terrifying. And McCaffrey is hurt a little bit, and Miami is the best run defense in the league, hands down. They will come after you in the backfield and put you on your ass.
So
But
you got Mahomes beating Burrow for sure.
I'm
You
really
probably got
thinking Mahomes beats Burrow. King Henry dominates Christian McCaffrey, and it's a
okay.
slugfest, really, after that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, but okay. So Kirk's gonna might be a little bit weak with Donovan Peoples Jones because he's getting a new quarterback now with Watson coming back. Could be good, could be bad. I saw Olave definitely a better receiver than Donovan Peoples Jones. Slayton versus McLaurin that Jason has. I think Kirk and I mean that's like even to me. Tight ends are even between Komet for Kirk and Hawkinson for Jason. It's like you said, it's a slugfest the rest of the way. I think you're right.
It really is. It's pretty brutal. This is gonna be a good matchup. The defensive players, some of them I'm not too familiar with, which happens for me, but
Kevin White,
might have to
there's a
take
name.
Jason's defensive players over Kirk's. Yeah,
Yeah,
Hamlin's pretty good though, if I remember. Yeah, Hamlin's
Henderson's
been showing up. This is tough.
no wins are easy. That is what I see here. Even the bottom of the bottoms are ready to just take out the tops any given week.
Yeah, and
So
I did
I'm
say I wanted Bondagin Christian and you to win out, but right here and these next two, it seems like if you guys lose these, it'd actually be beneficial to me because the people you're losing to, I haven't considered playoffs.
it's true.
So that would actually help me in a scenario where then if I get the win this week, that puts me one game behind you guys, which, if I
Right.
become a game ahead of you in the next 2 weeks, I'd
Right.
be in for sure.
Sure.
All right,
Me-
in this
And
one out. Go ahead.
meanwhile, you got Doug and Ben eating at each other, so that would bump them down to you if you get a win, right? And you have Derek in a big matchup against Tom, who's fighting for everything right now. So if Derek loses, it bumps him down to you. You got all this potential if things fall just right for you to get
It's
right.
almost lined up like the fantasy gods meant it to be like this. And I do believe this is my year. And I do believe that Tua will lead me there.
This is the
Tua,
last
Tua,
matchup we got.
Tua, can't you see?
This two right here. This one doesn't really matter, unfortunately. Sorry to say that about your guys' team. It can slightly matter for Isaac if he wins out and then has a bunch of stuff go wrong. But I doubt. I doubt
Yeah,
this means
this is like a semi shit bowl, right? This is where you
yeah.
sit down and it turns out the bowl of cereal you poured out was actually turd shit.
Yeah, it was poo poo puffs.
Poopy puffs. Yes, that's
Poo
exactly
puffs.
what it is. If you're interested in
You
poopy
thought you guys
puffs,
Cocoa
get the
Puffs,
link
but
down
it is
below.
poo poo.
It's what your
Rabbit
girlfriend served me last time. It was not very good.
Why she did have a
Yes.
dog bowl, I don't know.
Dog bowl. Yes, it was a dog bowl. Looks like Leroy has already packed his bags and not even setting his lineup this week. He had a rough loss last week. He's already out, so we could talk about this team and these matchups, but you guys
Why
don't really
we
matter. And if you're listening through to here, I hope Isaac actually loses and Leroy gets a win here to make it even more even in the league.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of want Leroy. I want Leroy to kind of win out from here on out. Just by it doesn't feel so bad and as low as he was. He was 0 wins. I think he was 0-9. Wait, no, 0
I
and
think 0 and
8.
8. Yeah.
Yeah. And we were like, wow, done. And he went on a 3 game win streak and we were like, cool. And now he lost again. So I kind of want him to
Yeah,
win.
he had a chance
That
to go
way this would
7
be
and
good.
8 or something like that. Would have been nutty.
That would have been nutty. So
I mean, now he could go 6 and 8, and that'd still be pretty impressive.
now that we got through all the matchups, essentially, because there's not really much to talk about here, um, going forward, like this week, like we were saying, how you could potentially slide in there. I play Jimmy this week, and then week I play, I believe, Ben. Yeah, I play Ben next week. Think about what can happen here. If Ben loses, right, and I lose, it puts you 1 game closer to me, tied with Ben in record. I play Ben, so right there, you really do. You need me and Ben both to lose this week because then we're gonna play each other. And the loser of that, either you'll be above him if you win again because he'll lose to me, or if I lose, he'll be tied with me and Ben.
Yeah, and so this is Corn Dogs and I match up for basically where the stars align
He's,
for us. And the stars
he's
are
up.
aligning for both of us right now for the winner of our matchup to end up in the running.
So yeah,
It's crazy how well these
you and
matchups
Corey,
lined up.
you and Corey desperately need me and Ben both to lose because then we're gonna play each other and it puts you guys right there next door. You next week are gonna play Doug, which also is key for you. So if Doug needs to win against Ben for this plan to work. So you need Doug to beat Ben this week. Puts Ben or Doug just 1 game out, and then you'll play Doug, beat him. You'll have a tied record with Doug. You'll have a tied record with me, a tied record with Ben, and maybe even with Jason if Jason loses 2 times.
This is gonna
You
be
you
nutty,
keep
dude. I
right
I
in
gotta get a
here,
win here.
right in there, going into week 15, right? If this could fall where everything's tied up, we have 5 teams all tied for first position. We just got points that are separating us. And then last week of the year, you played Derek,
Oh, it's gonna be such a
and
slugfest.
I play fucking Doug. So I got Jimmy, Ben, Doug.
This has been the closest fantasy league we've been a part of by far.
I got Jimmy and Doug. You got Corey, Doug, Rick. Not easy, bro. Both of us, not easy way in.
Well, if you've been listening this far into the podcast, you're about 49, just hit the 50-minute mark. We applaud you. We appreciate you listening. Hit the like, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell button icon next to the subscribe. You'll be notified as soon as we post this next video.
At the column or the comments. Look at the links we're gonna send. Like the one for your mom's pillow. It's a beautiful pillow. It's so
Yes,
soft.
your mom's pillow and mattress company. Oh my god, amazing!
Amazing products.
Brought to you by your mom. All right, y'all have a good one. Come join us in the next podcast. Peace.
Peace.